As we continue to see the unfolding economic impact of the Great Shutdown, one sector that is often overlooked is the non-profit sector. In Atlantic Canada, there are about 13,000 non-profit organizations. They contribute about $2.4 billion to the region's GDP. They employ about 45,000 people. That's about 4% of the region's workforce. And these non-profits and other charities provide important services for those who are disadvantaged, for those facing health challenges, and many other important social needs. But during this COVID-19 pandemic, they are facing some of their own unique challenges. First, revenues are under pressure. Many non-profits raise funds through fundraising events, but those events cannot be held due to physical distancing requirements. Corporate and individual donations are also likely to be lower, as businesses and individuals are seeing some of their incomes contract as well. Second, volunteers are an important part of non-profit activity. In Atlantic Canada, about 160 million hours were volunteered across the region. And in Nova Scotia specifically, volunteers account for about 60% of the total hours worked, both paid and unpaid, in non-profit organizations. And yet volunteer hours are down because individuals are staying home, concerned about their own safety or respecting requests not to go out unless absolutely essential. Third, most non-profits are small. In Nova Scotia, about 2/3 have less than 10 employees. So these organizations don't have the financial, the IT and the staff resources to cope with adjusting to the requirements during this great shutdown. Finally, some of these non-profit organizations are facing increasing demand for their services, as we see with increasing demand at our food banks. So what can be done to help? It has been encouraging to see both federal and provincial governments recognize the important role of non-profits by ensuring that they are also eligible, along with businesses, for the various financial support programs that are being put in place. And we've also seen specific funding from, again, provincial and federal governments to support specific sectors such as our food banks. One extra step that governments can take is to help ensure funding for these non-profits. Governments account for about 55% of funding of non-profit organizations in Nova Scotia. So guaranteeing and providing that funding for this coming year would provide much needed stability and cash flow for these organizations. And providing greater flexibility in reporting requirements would also assist during this crisis. It's also important that corporations are able, where they are able, to continue to provide their financial support. And even if an organization is not able to continue their normal financial contributions, approaching a charity or a non-profit to see if there are other ways that they might be able to help them during this crisis. And for all of us, if we're able to continue our personal giving and our volunteering, that will again provide much needed support for these non-profit organizations. So as we all continue to struggle through this great shutdown, let's not forget the important role that non-profits play. And let's continue to look for ways to support and help them as they continue to deliver important services to those in our society who most need it. Thank you for watching.